Good evening, young Jedis. It's I, the Commissioner of the Far Hill Fantasy Football League. Welcome to Week 1, burning down the Far Hill. No applause necessary. I'm just your humble Sith Lord, Helmadontor, coming at you here on the eve of Labor Day here, of the eve of the 2012 Fantasy Football League. So I hope everyone's excited. We have a few announcements, some preview of matchups, and then we will get it on for reals, y'all. Okay, so starting with some announcements. As of the broadcasting of this episode of Burning Down the Far Hill, we are past the 8 p.m. deadline of Labor Day, so therefore if there was one team that opted not to cut their team down to 15, so I did it for you. So, yeah. It probably doesn't take a rocket science to figure it out, so just kind of look at your teams, and if you were missing a person that you had before, one person who shall remain unnamed, person who has not spoken to me since the draft, yeah, we'll go from there. So that's all set. For next thing up is for the pick'ems. I want to make sure I get this on the official waves here. So pick'ems. For the NFL pick'ems for the week, for the weekly winners, we are picking against the spread. The spread is mentioned on the website and next to the picks, so that's the point spread that the system is going with. I do not believe it randomly changes as Vegas changes. I think it's kind of set where it is once the week comes in. But I'll keep an eye on that, but just know that the spread is what we're going with. Picks are off the spread. So pick versus the spread, +3, -3. Hopefully you should know how to know all that works by now. Also, the regular fantasy pick'ems are straight up, so there's no spread necessary there, because that's just dumb. Next, let's see here. For those that have not gotten me their entry fee yet, I know one person is in the process that I know of because he's spoken to me. But everybody else, I'll just tell you right now that if your account is at $20 and more, you won't be able to submit lineups or propose or accept trades or submit a waiver request or pick up people. So that $20 includes your entry fee. So if you haven't paid your entry fee yet, you're going to find it difficult to submit your lineup, especially for the game that's coming up in about 48 hours. So I suggest you get a hold of me and get some money to me. I know probably at least two people that I can think of off the top of my head are in that category. So just saying, no, you might want to give me a call or put something in the mail, and then let me know something's in the mail. So I don't want you crying on freaking Wednesday when you wanted to get freaking Tony Romo in. But that's just hypothetical, because the person who has Tony Romo has already paid me his money. But you want to get Tony Romo in, or Austin Green, or Miles Austin, or Austin Miles, and you want to get him in, but you can't because it's locked up, and you're going to cry to me because it's locked. And what's the deal? Well, it's because you haven't paid your money yet. So pay your money, and then you can do things. If you don't pay your money, you're going to get a bunch of zeros. And that blows later in the season when you probably needed a win and you missed the playoffs by 1 win. Oops. So get your money in. Let's see, money in, championship. Yeah, so there's nothing really more announcement-wise. So I'm just going to quickly run through the Week 1 matchups and give you my picks, which also correspond to the pick'em. So starting with John Boy, special people at, okay, I guess there's no home field advantage, so the at means nothing, versus Fat Bastard. John Boy leads the series 8-6, which is actually kind of shocking when I looked that up. They played Week 10, but no one cares about last year. So I'm picking John Boy just because he had a lot of picks in the draft. That's the only reason. Don't read into that any further than that is. Don't underread it. Well, you can underread it if all you want, but don't read it any further than it is. It's just because you had a lot of high picks. That's it. It's the only reason you're getting the pick from me. That's it. GAC versus Road Crew. Road Crew leads series 10-6. I'm picking Road Crew, and this is going to be close. I had to go through and look at their starting lineups and try and weigh things. Josh has got the quarterback, Jair's got the running backs, Josh has got the receivers, and kickers and defense. You never know what's going to happen on any given day. So I gave the nod to Josh and his receivers and quarterback versus Jair's running backs. Monthly Plugs, who's opted not to change his name because I guess he likes it. Fine. versus the Steel Curtain. Steel Curtain leads the series 2-1. I went with Steel Curtain, but again, it's also not very high as well. I went with him also on the same reason that he had more picks that were high. That's it. Davis Dynasty versus the Terre Haute Telmadantors. Series tied at 1. This is the rematch of last year's championship game. Just to throw that out there. Commissioner, I'll pick the Telmadantors because, yeah, just because. Sounds good at the time. Irish Cop versus Taking You Down. Taking You Down leads the series 2-1. I'm picking Irish Cop, and I'm picking Irish Cop big. And lastly, Bad Dog versus the Agent P. Agent P leads the series, and I think this is the most lopsided series of any series out there to date. The series is 15-1. The 1 was the year that Larry made his little run a couple years back. He won that matchup that year. He's not ever beaten Jim ever, other than that one win. So on the basis of that, I'm picking Agent P to keep that going. So there's the 6 matchups. Get money to me if you have not already with your entry fees, so you can submit your lineups, and I don't need you crying or calling me, yelling at me because you didn't get this because you weren't at the draft. It's not my fault you weren't at the draft. Be at the draft. You know better. So with that, fellas, gentlemen, guys, boys, peeps, let's get this piece on. It's been long enough. I hope to come at you next week. You know, school load will depend on that. So hopefully I'm coming at you next week with a little recap and a preview of week 2. But other than that, y'all, I'm gonna go study. I'm out.